Major League Baseball welcomes you to the following presentation of the Cincinnati Reds.
Last night, the Rally Reds rode once more. In a pinch, Will Benson tied it up in the ninth, his third career pinch hit home run. It brought the Reds even from down 3-0 to 3-all, and Blake Dunn walked it off for the second time in the last week and a half. Dunn delivered. Steer came home, who championed the initial part of the comeback. Comeback complete on that score standing, and the Reds rallied to even the series with the Royals at a game apiece. Today, the rubber match finale of this homestand as we welcome you back once more to Great American Ballpark. It's the Reds and the Royals by the mighty Ohio. And a pleasant good evening. Welcome back to Reds Baseball. Alongside our captain, the Hall of Famer, Cincinnati's own Barry Larkin. I'm John Sadak. Jim Day on the way in just a bit. And Lark, things were dire for the Reds offense, save for their savior, the man who kept them in the game, Spencer Steer.
I've often said that Spencer Steer's numbers on the board do not reflect at all what kind of hitter that I believe that he is. Well, I think that is starting to show up. Spencer Steer has always been a clutch performer, but the numbers have been around 230, 240. Well, now they're getting way up there. And what also is up there is his power. I felt like this home run to right field was so impressive. He is such a good hitter with such a flat swing. When he's driving the ball to right center field and hit home runs to right, it is watch out for the league.
His fourth career multi-home run game, 4 victories in May for Chase Burns.
He's just been absolutely dominant. You saw that pitch right there, that slider, the high velocity fastball, sets it up. He's able to spot it up and in, up and away, down and in, down and away, and then that slider really kind of on the left-hand side of the batter's box, the first base side. Really, really good. Hopefully not feeling bad from the sickness, out there and dominating again tonight.
He had been scratched with illness on Monday. He has been on a mission all season. We'll go to break. Jim Day on the way in just a bit as the Reds and Royals will close out this series.
Bing.
Cincinnati Reds Baseball is presented by St. Elizabeth Healthcare and the Young Family Cancer Center, a regional leader in cancer care. By your Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. For all Toyota offers, go to toyota.com. By Benefits All In, helping employers bend the trend in their medical spend. By Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card. Earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases. Terms apply. And by Jake Sweeney Kia. Drive smart, spend less. Jim Day now on the way with our leadoff interview. J.J. Bleday, the man of May, christened by the National League. We'll have more with the Reds' prolific outfielder right after this.
So I hammer the rudder.
To right center by J.J. Bleday.
Oh, yeah. Good night, Irene.
Well, stay hot, J.J. Bleday, and continue to produce.
J.J. Bleday all day long. Homers in back-to-back ABs.
J.J. Bleday has been a find for this team. Swing the bat like that, you're going to get plenty of opportunity.
Massive month for this guy, J.J. Bleday. He is your National League Player of the Month in the National League. We'll call it a month of Blame. It's our Wells Fargo active mic. Is this kind of a reward for all the hard work you put in?
Absolutely. You know, it's a tremendous honor getting that award, and it's just cool to see the dreams come into fruition and the hard work pay off.
Getting an everyday opportunity in the major leagues again, I know that's what you were working for. How important is it to play every day?
Oh, it's awesome. It's huge to get the consistent at-bats, be in the lineup, face certain guys, see certain arms, and just just go out there and do your best to help the team win.
These final moments of preparation, you've played hundreds and thousands of baseball games, but at the major league level, you're getting ready to field. What are these last moments of preparation for you like?
just trust all the work you just did today. Go out there, go trust the game plan, and do our best to win each pitch.
Congratulations on the award. Go get him.
Thanks, Jim. Appreciate it.
That is J.J. Bleday. He'll head to the outfield as the Reds looking for a series victory tonight as we go upstairs to the guys that will call it, John Sadek and the Hall of Famer Barry Larkin.
Well, kind thanks, Jim, and also to J.J. Hardware held by a Red for a monthly honor for the first time since Joey Votto, his breakout July in 2021, the last Reds National League Player of the Month. Early stage of June, midseason form for Chase Burns.
Yeah, it's been really great to see Chase Burns out there. Originally scheduled to start on Monday, but had a little sickness, so obviously didn't pitch, but nice to see him out there today. His numbers just outstanding in every single phase of the game. It's going to be interesting to see how teams make the adjustment to him. He has been so dominant with that fastball slider. The question is, like, how are you going to try to negate the success he's had? Well, good luck with it because he's pitching with a lot of confidence.
We'll see if he can channel some disturbed and get down with that sickness tonight. Lineup that he'll oppose for the Royals. They have lost 7 of 8, 17 of 21. They have split the first 2 on this series. Carter Jensen leads off. He was a pinch hitter last night, was over in game 1. Bobby Witt Jr. has been on base a lot, but only 1 hit on the series. The Reds have contained him reasonably on the set to this point. Pasquantino, Perez, Caglione has had some moments, including a bomb. Isaac Collins, one of the worst road hitters in the majors. Michael Massey's been producing runs. Nick Lofton has been getting on base. Still again, no Maikel Garcia, who has not played since Saturday with a hamstring strain. And Kyle Isbell handles righties pretty well. He's one of the more prolific in terms of hits, 9-hole hitters in the big leagues. On this sunshiny day, Blake Dunn in center, lifting his glove up, trying to get a feel for the shadows before the first pitch comes. It's a rough ride at the start of the game in both center and left.
It's not a good sign. Not a good sign out there. See the shades on Bleday in left field.
Yeah, ball will find you. First pitch. Bleday and Dunn converge. Bleday makes the grab. Now the Reds' full defense. Blake Dunn 5 defensive runs saved. That's second most of any Reds defensive player. Top 10 among all big league outfielders. Will Benson's second start in 11 days. He thundered the big homer late yesterday. Bobby Witt Jr., who walked twice, stole a bag twice, but was 0 for 3 yesterday. He's 1 for 6 on the set. And Burns misses with a fastball. Now Witt did line out to right field last night. Reds also struck him out once. I think without question, Lark, the man that all Reds pitchers have pitched the most carefully is Bobby Witt Jr.
And that they should. He's just a fantastic talent.
3-0. I'm also a little curious. Burns has one of the elite pickoff moves, such quick feet. So far, only 1 pickoff. Witt is one of the prolific base stealers in the league these days. We're going to find out what that matchup is like. Witt walks on 4. There could be a touch of rust for Burns, who was a scratch on Monday as he battled illness. Then he passed Pasquantino, 0 for 5, struck out looking yesterday. He's 2 for 9, a ribby and a walk on the series. There's that pickoff. Pretty close.
Yeah, he's quick. He and Tony Santillan, another big body guy that super quick feet. Jose Rijo used to be like that.
Witt is tied for the 3rd most steals in the majors early this year. And there is a sunken fastball for a strike. David Hollins in the right ear of Witt. He's the first base coach. fouled back. And going back to 24, these are the men who provide pop and speed. 150 extra base hits, 80 steals. It's Ohtani, Ramirez, and win of the Royals, Ellie with the Reds. Oh-2 bounces home. Good block by Stevenson.
As a base runner, you see this ball in the dirt, you're thinking advance right away. Tyler Stephen does a really nice job keeping that ball in front of him.
Stevenson's caught a lot this year. Another ball bounced in the dirt. He entered the night with 48 games caught, second most in the majors. He entered the night just south of 390 innings caught, third most in the majors. Obviously, Jose Trevino's injury is part of that. Reds hope to have him back soon. Still a really tough sun in left and center field. There's a second pickoff try, and Witt plunges back again. So 2 disengagements used this AB. How aggressive is Witt on a 2-2? He goes, and that is killed to right field. Oh, Pasquantino mashes over the Royals bullpen. Deep on that netting for his 6th home run. And the Reds are down 2-0.
This is a 98.5-mile-an-hour fastball up to a lefty. That is supposed to be, on paper, a good pitch. Pasquantino gets on top of it, keeps that ball fair down the right field line. That's supposed to be a great pitch. Most lefties cannot get to that ball right there.
Salvador Perez takes strike 1. That's now 9 homers surrendered by Burns. He's given up a bomb at each of his last 3, 4 of his last 5. But the vast majority solo shots. Big cut on that slider. Yeah, Burns in his last 8 starts is 6-0. And he's gone 5 or more innings, allowing 2 runs or less in all 8 of those starts. That's 2 runs in the first inning tonight. Smothered by Stevenson. Perez a base hit, a walk, also scored a run in the game yesterday. 1-2. Time for tonight's The Home Depot working on a win. 8 straight starts, 2 earnings or less. For Burns, it's the longest run by a Reds pitcher since 12 such efforts consecutively by Luis Castillo, 18-19. That's poked to center. Burns, Dunn going back up against the wall, makes the play. He did not see that ball in its initial flight. It looked like he was tracking more based on sound.
Yeah, well, this ball was down. You wouldn't expect this ball to travel that far. Looks like he certainly had a beat on it the entire time. His ability to track the ball is impressive in the outfield.
Now Jack Caglione had a ribby ground out going 0 for 3 yesterday, a comebacker that ricocheted off Andrew Abbott. He also walked, was hit by a pitch, stole a bag. On the series, 2 for 7 with 1 of his 6 home runs. Swung through, 2-1. Tonight's original scheduled starter when the series began was set to be Chris Paddock. But when Burns got scratched and moved to tonight, Paddock is now in the Reds bullpen. Swing and a miss is available for some innings. First strikeout for Burns, couple of runs for the Royals. We'll see how the top of the Reds order can respond. Back on Reds TV, presented by Benefits All In. Reds down a couple of runs. Full 9 for Tito Francona from St. Elizabeth Healthcare. Dunn, Player of the Month, Bleday, Stewart, Lowe, Suarez, Steer, Benson among the heroes yesterday, Stevenson and McLean. It was Dunn who connected on the walk-off winner, his second in just the last couple of weeks. Also won Game 2 of the May 23rd doubleheader against the Cardinals. Ribby fielder's choice. This is guided to first, smothered on the backhand. Pasquantino flipped to first base, got it. Oh, Dunn has been robbed by some amazing defense on back-to-back nights.
He certainly put pressure on the defense, and they've been able to make the plays, but I love that from Blake Dunn. That is his game. Little check swing right here, and the guy can absolutely fly, as we talked about. Making it awfully close at first base. Just keep doing what you're doing and putting pressure on the defense. Pressure busts pipes.
Yeah, Dunn was robbed on a bunt try by Noah Cameron. First pitch he saw, third inning yesterday. Lifted to left by Bleday. Isaac Collins over. There's no play. Stephen Kolek, the starter for Kansas City.
It's basically a fastball, cutter, sinker, and a change. His changeup has been his weapon of choice to get a lot of weak contact.
An oblique strain cost him April. 29 years old, born in Houston, grew up in Shepherd, Texas. 0-1, fouled back. He went to Texas A&M. He was drafted by the Dodgers, 11th round at 18. Has been traded a few times to the Mariners for cash. Early stage of 21. Rule 5'd by the Padres in advance of 24. Debuted with them before tendinitis shut him down end of July that year. And then he was a deadline deal last season for catcher Freddie Fermin. And pitched very well for the Royals down the stretch. Joined the rotation again this year when Cole Reagans hit the IL. He had an elbow issue in early May. 1-2. Bleday lifts this over a leaping shortstop Bobby Witt Jr. Base hit, Bleday.
Really good pitch, down and away. JJ just staying through the middle, man, swinging the bat so well.
Well, Bleday is on for Sal Stewart, who walked 0 for 3 with a strikeout yesterday. If you were to chart Sal Stewart's hitting success in what still counts as his rookie year as a line graph, it would read like an EKG of someone's heart, right? Kind of spikes up, comes down, spikes up, comes down, which is somewhat expected for a still novice rookie. The league's adjusting, he's adjusting. Bottom line, the net overall, he leads all National League rookies in homers, ribbies, slug, OPS, and walks.
Yeah, he's been really good.
And he's, I think, due to have a little spike and come back up again. Upstairs miss. Now, Kolek does get ground balls, career 52% ground ball rate. Since his debut in 24, he's not that far outside of the top 10 in ground ball rate. Stands 13th. Pumps a strike. Over half his pitches are those fastballs, four-seam and sinker. The four-seamer plays way better. The changeup you mentioned, he uses almost entirely to lefties. It's a great pitch. League's hitting 150 against it. Similar with the slider that he'll use to both righties and lefties, and the league's hitting $133. 2-2. There it is. That's his finisher against right-handed hitters. his first strikeout tonight.
Ball out of the zone, at the bottom of the zone. Previous pitch, I think Sal Stewart questioned home plate umpire whether or not that ball was down or not. So Kolek making it a point to pitch at the bottom of the zone.
Gets strike one and Nathaniel Lowe. Now with the Reds lefty standing in, the changeup and the cutter are more in play. There's the cutter. He likes to use that against lefties a lot. Lowe pinch hit of the ninth and struck out yesterday. He is 0 for his last 10. A lot of his damage comes here at Great American Ballpark. 8 of his 9 home runs. Shadows have now swallowed up a lot of left field. Isaac Collins is not battling the sun at left. But Kyle Isbell, who plays a more shallow center, is right on that edge and does have some of that sparkling sunshine beaming down on him. One-two, swung through, strike 3. Well, the slider finishes low. Consecutive Ks for Kolek.
So I hammer the rudder.
Here are our benefits all-in keys to the game. What do you see?
Well, the fastball has been the successful pitch for Chase Burns, and the Kansas City has struggled against it. You could see it, but that's why I was so impressed by that home run by Pasquantino. That 98-mile-an-hour heater was way up and in. Amazed that he got to it.
Switch hitting Isaac Collins had a base hit Monday. There's a broken bat single, also struck out 3 times. On the road this year, just 153, 3rd worst average on the road in the majors, 4th lowest OPS. Not that he's a star in Kansas City, but he's been really rough on the road, and he sends this ball to fairly deep right center. On the track, Will Benson. Yeah, when you're going to get Burns, runs generally come on homers. Over 80% of the runs he's given up have come on homers. Only Jamison Tyone has a higher rate of his runs coming on home runs. And when you're providing power with the kind of heat that he has, that's going to happen. A lot of the other hard-throwing star pitchers give up home runs.
Well, especially in this ballpark right here, it's going to happen.
And part of the key is make them solo shots. The other elite stars like Burns, who he is a star, top 5 ERA in the sport, they limit the number of base runners when those shots come. And this one is sent beyond Steer at second. Michael Massey with a base hit. Now, before the Pasquantino homer, there was a walk to Bobby Witt. That's what made for the add-on run. Now Nick Lofton singled, walked, and scored yesterday. His playing time's gone up overwhelmingly at third base since Gold Glover Michael Garcia strained his hamstring Saturday. Lofton's been on 6 times in 16 plate appearances, mostly overlapping with that surge in time. First pitch slider as Gino Suarez pops big bubbles at third. Back-to-back sliders. 0-2. There's Gino. Once upon a time, Jim Day, you and Gino Suarez shared some knowledge on blowing bubbles.
I challenged him to a bubble blowing contest, or he was showing me, and it didn't go so well for me.
Swing and a miss, nasty slider. I'm sure you were competitive with this game, though, right?
I actually was, but he is first team All-Pro for many years going.
If you ever come to a Reds game, Homer Road, and you're looking for what to look for, you're not in conversation with your friends the whole time, I would highly encourage you, Kyle Isbell stands in, just watch Gino Suarez. The interactions he has with players, with umpires, blowing bubbles, the dances he does, the way he celebrates fans who are recognized. There is such radiating joy that comes from Gino.
Good
Watch
vibes.
him.
Good vibes. Yep.
ABS powered by T-Mobile.
The catcher challenging to call a ball.
Is it 0-2? No.
The call is confirmed. Cincinnati has one remaining challenge.
On deck is the leadoff man Jensen, and then Witt. Isbell, in terms of total hits, highly productive, batting ninth normally for Kansas City. Slider runs in. He was a defensive replacement later stage of last night, got one AB. His strikeout ended the visiting 10th. He was 0 for 5 with a strikeout, bounced into a double play in Monday's opener. Turns on that pitch, high in the air to right. Benson back to the track, curling corner, got it. Well, the Reds offense was all courtesy of big flies yesterday. Spencer Steer and Will Benson provided fire. They're due up in the home second. Back at GABP, Reds TV, presented by Benefits All In. Reds trail it 2-zip. Eugenio Suarez leads it off. 0 for 3, a walk and a strikeout yesterday. He is the Red that has seen Stephen Kolek the most. It's not gone well. You could say he's due. He's 0 for 8, 6 strikeouts against him. All 4 of his homers have come at home. 0-2. Kolek was torn up in Texas on Friday. 6 runs, 4 earned in 5 innings. But that's after his greatest artistry of the year. Took on Suarez's other former team, Seattle Mariners, and delivered his second career shutout. 9 innings, 4 hits, walk and a couple of Ks. Inside. Swung through, strike 3.
Front door slider right there. Crowded Gino. That ball out an inch or two. That ball's hammered. Really good pitch.
Well, 3 straight strikeouts for Kolek, 2 homers for Spencer Steer last night. His career high on base streak now at 21 games, best active surge in the majors. Also scored the game-winning run. He was the free runner in the 10th, plated by Blake Dunn. Average up to 277. Grounded up the middle, skips to second. Good adjustment by Massey.
That ball hit off the bag.
That skipped up on him. Slowed it down some, but also changed that angle.
As the middle infielder, you're concerned with if that ball hits the bag. Maybe it hit behind the bag. Kind of lose sight of a ground ball when you're playing so much up the middle. Still can't tell.
Strike one at Will Benson. Pinch hit homer began the home ninth last night, his third career pinch hit home run. It was the first time a Red launched a game-tying pinch hit homer ninth inning or later since Devin Mesoraco against the Braves back in May of 2013. Benson with the start tonight in right field.
You can see where Kolek is trying to pitch him. That's where the pitch was last night. It was outside. It was a changeup. It was elevated, but it was out over the plate.
One, two. Check swing. Did he go? Yes. That's now 4 strikeouts for Kolek. Reds go in order in the second.
End of the game atmosphere last night was awesome. The tarps were off, and let's face it, these fans didn't have much to cheer about most of the game, but there were several players today that said it really fired them up. Spencer Steer went as far to say, as the fans willed us to a victory. 3-2-1 Tuesday, by the way, has been a hit, and it was a hit last night.
I appreciate that, Jim. You could feel the buzz in the building, particularly in that final inning of regulation play that spilled into the 10th.
You know, if Jim Day were in the middle of all of that going on, that would be awesome.
The answer is no.
Come on, you're a team guy, right? You ate the Skyline Chili egg roll.
Come on, Jimmy.
Tarps off.
Willis to a World Series. Get out there with the boys.
Big difference between watching me eat and watching me with my shirt off.
I hear a certain phrase of Joey Votto that lives forever in internet infamy.
It's not that thing.
Whole new Jim Day with Jim Day. Bounced home by Burns. Jensen is flied to left. And you know, our producer extraordinaire Josh Hall is so observant. Jim, I think he makes an excellent point. Half the time when we dine with you, your food winds up on your shirt anyway. So it's really merging the two worlds.
I've been working on my setup, my stance, and getting into an athletic position of eating. I have improved this year.
I was just thinking that. I think he is better.
Third strikeout for Burns. So this is going to be a real test, right? Because Jim and I, we don't believe in jinxes. We learned on Jim's most recent podcast episode, Spencer Steer, Nathaniel Lowe don't believe in jinxes. It's going to test that some, because we've just pronounced Jim done with having issues getting food on.
Now, we didn't say done. We said better.
It's a hard game. We all go through slumps. I haven't hit mine yet.
Oh, nice catch on a ricochet, mid-level. Witt walked on 4 and scored his first time. Foul back, 1-2. Downstairs to Witt. Check swing, he went. Our Jake Sweeney Kia pitch tracks.
I feel like as this game is progressing, Chase Burns is getting a better feel for that slider. We saw him spike a few earlier in the game. And this one, I think, is intentionally thrown at the bottom of the zone to try to get the chase, and he did.
Pasquantino, first pitch fouled away. Pasquantino was down 0-2 early and then turned on an elevated heater for a 2-run homer. Changeup.
Nice.
Because I agree with you, Lark, and one thing I do feel tonight so far, first time through, the slider has played better to righties than to lefties. But the changeup, a bit of an equalizer. Now the 0-2 speeds him up at a hundo out of the zone. And there are some splits for Burns on the year. Right-handed hitters generally have just about no chance. The on base for righties is 159. That's absurd against major league hitters. Lefties aren't good against him, but they're far more competitive. And the average goes up 80 points to 220. On base goes up about 160 points. 7 of the 9 homers have come from lefties. And that's where developing that changeup, being able to execute that more often and even better, that's going to be another step for Burns. Pasquantino sends this to center. Done. We're talking about another step for a guy who's top 5 in the league in ERA. Tremendous talent. Top of the order in order. Cincinnati Reds baseball is presented by Jake Sweeney Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. By UC Health. Expect more at uchealth.com. And by Bet365, where winning is everything. Sun sets in spectacular fashion here in Cincinnati. Reds down 2-0. Tyler Stevenson leads it off, and Jim Day, he is also an avid collector.
You know, collecting is going rampant through the Reds clubhouse. Maybe Pierce Johnson, who is a big-time collector, is a big influence on that. But yeah, he is collecting cards of players, particularly teammates. He has a case in his locker that he pulled out for me, and I said, well, what's your favorite card? And I expected him to pull out, I don't know, some really famous player that he looked up to, maybe an Atlanta Brave or something, because he's from that area. He pulls out a card from when he was 6 years old, his first card, and we've shown this before, ironically, in a Reds uniform as a little leaguer. This is the card that he got graded. It's in plastic, and he made a point, signed it by the way, made a point of showing me the back of the card, because on the back it says second baseman. All these players want to be middle infielders, Lark.
It also says 4'5" and 78 pounds. And if he were that, he probably could play second base. He's a little too big to be a middle infielder right now.
And now T-Man works a walk on 4 pitches. Never heard him referred to as T-Man, but that's what the card said his nickname was at age 6. Now Stevenson gets aboard. Stephen Kolek had struck out 4 of the last 5 Reds. He'll take on Matt McLean, who was 0 for 2 yesterday, trying to bunt his way on and grounded out in the 6th. Now McLean 2 for his last 31, 2 walks, 10 strikeouts in that time. Lofton in a step at third. Slider away. Now Lofton backs up with a couple of strikes. McLean just called time. Pasquantino plays in front of Stevenson. Three-pitch K. So Lark, it's a couple of games in the Ellie's on the IL era for the Reds. What do you see in the Reds without Ellie?
Well, I see the same kind of determination in playing to the last out. I think that yesterday, that win was huge. I felt like the first game they played without Ellie, they were a little flat. So I don't think we quite know yet. This will be an important road trip for this team, especially playing against the Cardinals. I'm assuming Ellie will be traveling with the team. Not sure about that. But his presence is important.
Comebacker by Dunn, ricochets to no one. Stevenson through second, and he takes third. Oh, comebacker by Blake Dunn, met at the corners for the Reds.
Blake Dunn making it happen, putting it in play. If this ball doesn't hit Kolek, it's probably a double play because the second baseman is sitting right there. A little fortunate on the ricochet. And then T-Man. 4'5" and 78 pounds, making it into third base.
Shades of what Jack Caglione enjoyed. It was a ground out, granted, but when he got a ribby that ricocheted off Andrew Abbott early stage yesterday. Can the Reds in similar fashion take advantage? Because Caglione got home the game's first run. Later that inning was the 2-run hit by Massey. Those 3 runs held up for the Royals until Benson's bomb off the bench in the 9th. J.J. Bleday a single over short, his first time. That is roped foul. Look out. It's coming in hot beyond the netting. He slaughters right-handed pitchers.
Well, those are the numbers right there. On base plus slugging. He's been doing both.
And want to know what's really crazy? His overall OPS at home is almost 1,200. He has ripped it in Cincinnati. Check swing. Did he go? No appeal. Call to the plate. Strike 3.
And if I think if any Ellie not being in the lineup, that would be the one thing that I would look for, is that right there. Maybe a little aggressive, trying to do a little bit more, maybe offering at a pitch that you normally wouldn't. He's been on fire, get a runner in scoring position, starts to expand a little bit.
Ball 1 to Sal Stewart, who was struck out. And we saw Noah Cameron was brilliant through 7. Allowed 1 Reds base runner. That was Steer's first home run. And somewhat surprisingly was lifted sub 90 pitches.
Yeah, when they took him out of the game, I'm sure there was just new life on that bench because he had been dominating.
And Matt Quatrero was asked about it after the game. He said that's the first time he had gone 7 this year. Stewart takes a strike. The Royal skipper added he was in control, but we thought it was the right time to get him out with the guys they had available. Then Mott Strom gave up a second home run to Steer. Benson and Dunn did their damage later. Now Dunn is a capable base stealer and incredibly quick. Kolek lifetime caught stealing rate of 30%. The league has not run on him all that much. Backstop Carter Jensen, his caught stealing rate 37%. That's way above average. League average right now is a little over 20. The pitcher controls the run game well. Catcher, who's very good. And Stewart foul tip, strike 3. Spikes the bat. Red strand 2.
That sword.
He's an unbelievable teammate. He's an unbelievable kid. Just think this gives him the best chance to find himself. Nothing that we feel has changed about him. Just want to give him a chance to try to kind of rediscover, what he can do.
And that's Terry Francona reacting to the transaction announced today that TJ Friedel, his struggles have been sent to AAA, and Noelvi Marte is back, who was on fire at AAA. And Tito went on to say that he took it very, very well, understood, and even went as far to say is it's hard for me to sit on the bench and find myself. And proof that he is one of the best teammates I've ever seen after a tough pinch hit at bat last night. The first one out of the dugout again last night to congratulate Blake Dunn was TJ Friedel, and we're talking about a player that he's in competition with playing time for. It was a tough move, one of the toughest Tito's had to make.
That's certainly understandable, because TJ he basically is the voice of the team. He kind of sets the tone for the team. He is a fantastic young man, fantastic. The hope is that he can go and find himself, and he's got to play in order to do that.
If you had to label the top 1 or 2 things you'd like him to focus on or achieve, what are you looking for?
It's to, first of all, have a game plan and really stick to that game plan. I thought last year he was really good because he was trying to get on base 2 times a game. And he's still trying to do that, trying to figure that out. But I felt like he did a really nice job of taking his walks, hitting the ball up the middle the other way, getting on base, making things happen, putting the ball on the ground. Just getting into the flow of the game. It just seems like this year he just was not capable of getting to the flow of the game. The other thing, I felt like his foot speed wasn't quite there. And I'm not sure if he's playing or has played with some kind of injury or not. But he certainly is a leader on this team, a tone setter on this team. So hopefully, as I said, he can go find it, bring it back here to Cincinnati. I know he has a strong connection with the community here. Does a lot of great stuff at Children's Hospital. Just an outstanding young man.
A couple of hard singles in succession by Perez and Caglione, both on fastballs. Collins is flying to right, Suarez on the grass at third. Changeup misses. Chase Burns trying to become the second Red starter in the last 20 years to start a season 8-1. The other in the last 2 decades, Andrew Abbott last year. Went on to be named an All-Star for the first time on his young career. Now granted, Cowboys talked about this a bunch, and there is some merit to the idea of could there be an innings restriction at some point on Chase Burns. There's no firm number now, but that's part of the blunt reality, especially with hard throwing young pitchers. 1-2 to Collins, elevated miss. But if he were to continue at this rate, if the Reds think the workload is being handled well by Burns, Reds haven't had a 20-game winner since Johnny Cueto in 2014. Before that, you have to go to Danny Jackson in 1988. Look at changeup frozen. We've seen a lot of changeups this second time through for Burns.
Yeah, I don't know if this was maybe a little bit above the zone, that changeup. I don't know if it was by fashion supposed to be up that high. But we certainly have seen many more changeups in this game than we've seen in the past.
Michael Massey is singled to right. It almost seems like the Royals, despite how they've struggled against extreme fastballs on the year, show that in the keys to the game, they seem to be geared up for the heater, and they've hit the heater a little bit.
You better be ready. You don't have much of a choice when Chase Burns is on the mound.
Here's another changeup, 0-2. And by the way, the 2 prior 20-game winners for the Reds, Tom Browning, 1985. The 4th most recent 20-game winner for the Reds, Jim Merritt in 1970. Down and in. Now that pitch, the slider down and in to lefties, they've mostly taken. They seem to see that as a ball tonight.
Yeah, and I feel like he just hasn't quite had the command of that particular pitch. That might be why we're seeing a few more changeups.
1-2. Swung through the high heat, strike 3. Our champion Windows pitch tracks.
Better be ready. Here it comes. This one's out of the zone. But you don't have much time.
So now Nick Lofton, who struck out his first time. Consecutive Ks for Burns after back-to-back Royals hits. And there's a fastball strike. Now the righties, they are chasing that slider. Sail to center, done. Couple of hits at the start. They don't move thereafter.
Chevy Silverado.
Registration is still open for the Ohio 529 College Advantage Redlegs Run presented by Tri-Health. Reds fans of all abilities are invited to run, walk, or roll across the finish in GABP. Proceeds benefit the Reds Community Fund. Register now, reds.com/run. All I can see with that giant hat is Norm Macdonald as Burt Reynolds with the name Turd Ferguson written on the screen for Celebrity Jeopardy. Fouled by Nathaniel Lowe, who has struck out tonight. Big hat. It's funny. Get a lot of old Norm Macdonald material on my Twitter feed lately. Him on talk shows, some stand-up stuff. I mean, we lost a legend in that man. Hilarious. In on Lowe. Stephen Kolek already with 7 strikeouts. That's one off his career high. Fouled away by Lowe. And Lowe lifts this to left. Circular route by Collins gets 2 at 1 away. Brief word now from UDF.
UDF's got ice cream quakes. The ice cream, real. The mix-ins, big. The choice, yours. Ice cream quakes from United Dairy Farmers.
Suarez struck out his first time. Our well-chronicled Nathaniel Lowe, brother playing Big League Baseball to Josh. Suarez bounces to third on the charge. Lofton. Quick ground ball out. Now Stephen Kolek, pitcher for the Royals, also has a baseball brother. His brother Tyler began with even higher height. His brother was the 2nd overall pick by the Marlins in 2014, but never made it above A-ball. The number 1 pick in that same draft was Brady Aiken, who was taken by Houston, chose not to sign, got drafted again the next year by Cleveland in the first round, also never made it to the majors. So the number 1 and number 2 pick in one draft, neither man made it. Spencer Steer is grounded out to second. Sweeper misses. With Aiken, he is one of 3 men ever to be drafted number 1 and never arrive in the big leagues. Catcher Steve Chilcott with the Mets in 1966 was the pick before Mr. October, Reggie Jackson. And Brian Taylor with the Yankees in 1991 rather famously got into a fight helping to protect his brother's honor and was never the same since. Never made it to the big leagues.
You certainly can't miss with that high draft pick.
Meanwhile, Steven was an 11th rounder. Got traded twice, got Rule 5'd once, and
Here he is.
Here he is on a big league mound. 3-0 to Steer. Strike. Our Kia player profile. Now, Steer has his long on base streak, but the average, go back 32 games. His season long average has surged up 60 points in a little over a month. This is top to third. Lofted started in. Fire to first in time. Reds go in order. Chase Burns back to the bump. We'll see if we see more of that changeup. Check out the latest edition of the Nathaniel Lowe podcast featuring Jim Day with guest Spencer Steer. Check them all out at reds.com/podcasts. Now,
that's
Jim,
funny. That is funny.
Jim, I got to follow up on something.
Okay.
So we just showed the shots, right, of Steer and Lowe. On the pod, they both talk about how Steer is shaving his stash. And you recorded this over the weekend. He still has the stash.
Well, I asked him today, and it was classic Spencer. He kind of gave me a dumbfounded look and said, I said, how did your mustache get a stay of execution? He says, I have no idea.
He is the man with the guillotine for it, right? Lifted to right by Isbell.
Either forgot that he said it or, like, forgot he even had a mustache. That's Spence.
While he's got an on-base streak going, he can't get rid of it, right?
Well, listen, we told him on the podcast, like, you're going pretty good. I don't know if you want to shave that thing. So, yeah, maybe it has to do with the on-base streak and he doesn't want to talk about it. Although he said he doesn't believe in jinxes either. So you never know with him. You never know.
I like how Nathaniel Lowe dove into some of his old jinxes that he's trying to put away.
Yeah, he is just a likable guy. Lowe. I mean, there's not much not to like.
Carter Jensen has fly to left, struck out. On that latest episode, you can hear what guff Lowe likes to give Sal Stewart. Some conversation about some baseball all-timers. Spencer Steer's connection to professional hockey. And Nathaniel Lowe bridges to and from break and gets some pointers from Jim Day. It was almost a Yoda moment, Lark, where Lowe turns it into him interviewing Jim Day. And then Jim is like mid-answer about himself and then realizes, oh, huh. Upstairs miss. Who's in the can, by the way? Who's coming out? You were just recording a pod the other day.
The one and only Bronson Arroyo. And I don't know if you checked out his music of late, but man, has he come a long way. And we talk music, we talk current modern day pitchers, we talk Reds baseball, we talk about the burn rate. If that's still going, what am I talking about? You have to tune in, find out. It'll drop on Monday. And next week I'm recording with Johnny B. Dusty Baker.
Yes. Payoff. That Burns rate is his 7th strikeout of the game.
There's that good slider down and in. Saw a lot of changeups to the lefties this time. Nice tight late breaker. Regardless if you swung or not, that was a strike.
Now Bobby Wood Jr. is walked, scored, struck out, takes strike one. I listen to every episode that Jim does, but that Dusty one, I've been fortunate enough to meet Bronson and speak with him, and I will definitely listen to that episode. I've never met Dusty. I've only heard secondhand stories. Lifted to right field, but he has long sounded like one of the most interesting men in the world, and I can't wait to hear those stories. Chase Burns bringing it. After a day off with illness, he's given these Reds a chance tonight.
We're here for those who build America.
Home run challenge. Nick Brophy from Montgomery, Ohio, will win a brand new built in the USA Tundra for Red hits the Toyota Hit and Win sign. Register for your chance to win at any Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky Toyota dealer. Tough play.
Bunt base hit. Will Benson. A bomb last night. The bunt single today.
Love it. Show all your skills. I wish more players would do that. That is such a difficult play to defend when you have speed. I mean, he bunts this ball pretty hard. Not even a chance at first base.
Tyler Stevenson. There's a different face down at the cage during batting practice today, Lark. Your man Boogie was down there. Eric Davis.
Sharing the wisdom.
Stevenson walked on 4 his first time.
You tell Will to bunt?
I can't speak to that, but he spoke to him, and he's got a base hit.
He has a tendency to make people around him better. Eric Davis does.
One. Stevenson trying to snap a mini funk that's arrived. Since he went to the high Sox, the on base, the average had gone up a bit. He is now 0 for his last 10, 6 strikeouts. Has a walk tonight, trying to continue this inning. Reds have their leadoff man on for a second time. They've been held to 3 hits so far by Stephen Kolek. Two and two. Full count. Benson started, ball bounced to short. Witt now has a chance at 2, double play. Benson bounded into a big step. Had he broken, I think he's still beaten to second base, but there might have been a shot.
Well, he would be sliding in late to second base, disrupting that possible throw to first base.
And remember, Kolek is one of the better ground ball men in the game. It's part of what he does. A miss to McLean, who has struck out. Saw 3 pitches, went down swinging his first time. I feel like he's been pitched a good amount away. Saw a lot of that in the first AB tonight. That slider down and away. To short and past Bobby Witt Jr. Base hit.
Another ball that was actually away. This is a fastball. Just shoots it right up the middle.
So a hard bouncing single. Top of the order, Blake Dunn. Not a bad spot for the Reds to run.
Put him in motion. I was just thinking the same exact thing.
Got your leadoff man at the plate. You got one of your faster base runners out there.
Now, obviously, you don't want to run into an out if you can get a jump. It'll work to get a jump. If you get a jump, ride out.
Done the check swing base hit. And, excuse me, check swing nearly was a hit his first time. He had the hard comebacker his last time that went off Kohlig for a base knock. Shoots this ball to left. Collins breaking way back by the power of Thor. A game-tying two-run shot for Dunn. He walked it off last night. He brings it even today.
It's so great to see Blake Dunn starting to blossom here in Cincinnati. A little hanging breaking ball, and he stays within himself. Meaning he didn't recognize it and try to hit it too hard. Stayed disciplined and just drove that ball out the ballpark.
Proved worthy on that swing. Strike one on J.J. Bleday. It was Ellie De La Cruz that anointed him Thor the other day.
Screamed it after his first walk-off in the clubhouse.
That's the first time it came?
After the game, yes. Look at him. He looks like Thor. I asked Dunn about that today. He said, I don't think Ellie noticed that Thor has long blonde locks. I said, well, you got the beard right and you are jacked. He's like, yeah, but he has long blonde locks and I have none.
Look at. Oh, the Reds are right back in it.
Blake Dunn getting it done. Matt McClain getting on board for him. Two-run home run. We're all tied up.
Back on Reds TV, presented by Benefits All In. Blake Dunn getting some time to shine. Regular run as the leadoff man, his second homer. He's had a knack for big-time knocks.
Yeah, he had the game winner last night. Two-run home run today to tie it up.
Vinny Pasquantino, a two-run homer for the Royals. He's also flying to center. Burns misses.
A couple of great defensive plays earlier in the series at the homestand.
It's those two plays that I have to think are fueling his outstanding defensive run number. Defensive run saved, he's at 5, and I believe they're all in right field. But he's certainly a capable center fielder. That's going to be an interesting working element with Noelvi Marte back up from AAA. He had overwhelmingly played center in this last run in the minors. Burns misses. And Terry Francona said today that he expects to use Noelvi Marte in both center field and right field. Who plays where, how often?
Well, I think if Blake Dunn continues to play the way that he is, he's going to be playing. It's just a matter of if it's in center field, right field, or wherever. He is certainly providing a spark, making things happen.
3-1. That's sent to center. Dunn fading back. But you had a chance to go down to the minors, and you were spending time with Edwin Arroyo. We referenced, I'll see you next time. I'll come to you. You saw Noelvi Marte down there as well. What'd you see in this latest version of Marte?
Yeah, I saw Noelvi really trying to pay attention to detail and understand what he was doing wrong at the big league level and why he was struggling at the big league level. I won't give away everything, but I feel like he identified a few things. We had a couple conversations about it. He and Darrell Ward were really working hard on making sure that he stays square to the plate. And he was playing some center field. Looked like he was working on it. He was working on his angles out there, and you could definitely tell he was in the process of learning. It's nice to see him back here as well.
Perez a base hit his last time. He's 1 for 2. Swung through. Could the idea of that concept of staying square help Marte with one of his bigger issues his last run of the big leagues, and really throughout his time in the big leagues, hitting lefties?
No doubt about it. He was very conscious. I'm really interested. I'm really excited to see him, to see if he can apply what he was applying in minor leagues. I'm telling you, I don't recall seeing him face any lefties in the minor leagues, but he was really working on specific things to help him stay square, and he was killing the ball. He was hitting close to 400.
Tapped up the middle, backhand off the heel of Steer. McLean staying with it with a catcher running, but Perez gets to first base. E4 on Steer.
Not the easiest play, but Spencer Steer gets to this ball, and the ball just jumps up a little bit on him. Hits him in the heel of that glove. Maybe catches it a little too deep. Nope, the ball just jumped up on him.
So now Caglione was singled and struck out over top of a slider. Burns, by the way, 7 strikeouts, 9 fly ball outs. Has not yet recorded a ground ball out tonight. That could have been the first. Perez not held on. Stewart plays behind him. And it bounces on Stevenson. Even Perez is able to advance on that. A wild pitch. 7 strikeouts for Burns. Statcast 3D. Google Cloud.
Well, we've seen only 1 strikeout on the changeup. We've seen a lot more changeups this game than we've seen in the past, and he's getting the chase on that slider, throwing that 4-seamer at the top of the zone.
There's that changeup. You called it. They've all been used against lefties. He's now at 9 changeups and counting tonight. What's it like for an infielder when you have a dominantly fly ball strikeout pitcher and you only get a ground ball every 3 or 4 innings?
Boring. Anxious. It's an anxious time, and you know a guy throws a lot of fly balls. You're always thinking, this next one's coming to me. This next one, this next pitch, this ball's coming to me. This ball's coming to me. I tell you, sometimes I was more exhausted when I did not have a ground ball hit to me than when I had 4 or 5 in a game.
I can see that. 1-2. Struck him out. Nasty slider. That's now 8 strikeouts for Burns.
Now this was a good one, a late breaker. Such a good pitch.
Season high is 9, done 3 times. Isaac Collins is fly to right, struck out looking. Reds have Caleb Ferguson up in their bullpen. One at one. Another nugget about how good Burns has been for these Reds. And out away from being in line to have a team high 8th quality start. For perspective, no other Red is more than 3. He often limits runs and gives reasonable length while also punching out, it seems like, a billion some nights. He's got clear ability and great flair. 2-2.
Just sitting here thinking about when all the guys get healthy. Burns and Green, and Lodolo and Abbott. Wow.
Red Lauder's next start will be in the Reds rotation Sunday in St. Louis.
And he'll just carve you up with his stuff.
Swung through, strike 3. A season high tying 9 Ks for Chase Burns.
Just the sheriff's in town. Chase Burns continues to dominate on that mound.
Grab your ball.
Another sensational start for Chase Burns. Chatting with other Reds pitchers. Sal Stewart rifles one to right. It skips to the wall. Caglione gathers. Stewart shooting for 2. Caglione bobbled his initial try. Stewart never broke stride. Sheathed the sword. He's standing atop second.
Try to sneak a fastball in there. No doing right there with Sal Stewart. He was ready for it. Shades of what we saw from this young man early in the season. Driving that ball the other way.
Reds have not known a lead yet tonight. They were down 2-0 before they took their first swings. Nathaniel Lowe is struck out, fly to left, comebacker to Witt. Stewart in between. Witt charging at him, feigns the throw, now the flip. Lofted to him, tag, got it. A fielder's choice. That'll go 6-5, erasing Stewart.
No, this ball was hit so hard, I don't believe Sal Stewart could get back to second base. And what he's doing right now, he's motioning to Nate Lowe to come on to second base. He'll try to stay in a rundown.
Eugenio Suarez has struck out, grounded out. Ball 1. Lifted, shallow left center. Isbell. Brief word now from Big Sandy Superstore.
You'll find the best selection of the top brands at the guaranteed lowest price. Big Sandy Superstore in Fairfield and the Kenwood Shopping Center.
Spencer Steer, his career high on base streak, is on the line at 21 games. He has grounded out twice, once to second, once to third. Ball 1. Looks like Ferguson is ready in the Reds pen. Saw hugs for Chase Burns from some of his teammates. Yanked out of the way. 3 balls and no strikes. Will Ferguson enter a tie game? Will he enter trying to shield a lead? Steer slugged a pair of homers yesterday. It's his second 3-0 count tonight. First time he walks, the on-base streak to a career-high 22 games, the best active in the bigs. That's a second walk issued by Kolick. Now Will Benson, bunt base hit, first pitches last time. He's also struck out. Both walks have come on 4 pitches for Kolek. Missed way in, almost hit Benson. That's now 6 straight out of the zone. Royals have no action in their pen with Kolek just north of 80 pitches. Two and one. The last heater was in a similar spot to where pitch was that Benson homered against yesterday. 2-2. Seeing the body language, Benson appeared a little surprised by that cutter. Just clipped the inside edge. Hard foul. Reds 0 for 3 with men in scoring position so far tonight. Lifted left field, Collins. Neither team has a knock in that spot this evening.
Now is the
Chase Burns I think we've just come to expect this from this young man. Dominant on the mound. Just in control of everything. I felt today did a really nice job of throwing many more changeups to those lefties. I felt like early in the game that slider wasn't quite there. He certainly found it towards the end. Another dominant performance.
2 days ago, he was so ill he could not start. He got sent home.
And he comes out and does that.
Strikes out 9.
Wow.
Caleb Ferguson, who is off to a pretty solid start. Skyline Chili called to the bullpen.
You can see it. His 3 appearances, all scoreless.
Solid.
See, I did that for you, Jim. Fouled away by Michael Massey. Even Tito, we were chatting with Tito, I think it was yesterday. Dropped a solid in there, but it was said that way. Solid.
Just like you're a solid guest.
That is not how it was delivered. Missed down low. But Jim's moved on to bigger and better. You know, he's got Nathaniel Lowe co-hosting. He's got Bronson Royal coming on. He's got Dusty Baker. 1-2 to second base. Steer. Is that going to be Dusty's first appearance on the Jim Day podcast?
It is. When he was here as a manager, a podcast didn't exist, at least mine. Yeah, he's got a memoir coming out very soon, which I can't wait to read, actually, because he's one of the best storytellers and insightful. His memory is vivid, and just the great players he was around. I learned something nearly every day with him.
Nick Lofton has struck out, flied out. Yeah, part of the legend of Dusty as well. he's an elite level foodie, right? Like he finds like crazy great, very off the beaten path delicacies wherever he goes.
There's broken bat. No question about it, John. In fact, he would have, when we would go on the road, he would have food delivered to him because he's like, I ain't eating plain food. So he would have something delivered to him, and he would get on the plane, and we would all be jealous because it would be good stuff every time. He had connections in every city.
Little Finer Things Club with the then skipper of the Reds. Pinch hitter is Lane Thomas. Stands in for Kyle Isbell. Thomas was a triple shy of the cycle in the opener and thundered a critical grand slam first inning. Basically sewed up the game that night. Last night he was held to a walk, went 0 for 4, did strike out. He has done a lot of damage in this ballpark over the years. Strike one from Ferguson. So tonight, by the way, 9 changeups from Chase Burns. The most he's thrown in a single game all year. The second most he's thrown in a major league game ever.
He was outstanding.
The only time he threw more, that was in Washington, July 22nd last year. That was a 10 strikeout game. He had 3 in a row. It was right in the middle of that run. 1-2. Fouled away. And I'm curious if he'll talk about it after the game. Was that strategy going in? Or was that an adjustment to, you would recognize the slider was spiked a few times. Didn't look as sharp. Did he and Tyler Stevenson call an audible in going to that changeup?
Be a great question to ask.
Way in 2-2. Stevenson blocks the plate so well. He showed that with Burns tonight and a few of those spiked pitches. ABS has been a strength. Did miss one tonight. Center field done right at him. 1-2-3 for Ferguson.
Chevy Righted Telecast is presented by authority of the Cincinnati Reds and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
2026 Reds Rookies memberships are available now for young Reds fans up to age 3. It includes exclusive merch, free Reds tickets, special members-only experiences at the ballpark. Purchase today, Reds.com/fanclubs. Lots of kids having a good old time here tonight. Final game of the series and homestand. A rubber match between the Reds and Royals tied. And a game apiece at 2 runs on the scoreboard tonight. Lane Thomas had hit for Kyle Isbell. Straight switch. He's now at center. And Kolek misses in on Tyler Stevenson, who has walked and bounced into a double play. There is a lefty now up in the Royals bullpen. Looks like it's Daniel Lynch the 4th. A long left-handed run is over. The Phillies' Christopher Sanchez scoreless inning streak dies at 50 2/3. 5th longest since the mound was moved to its distance in 1893. Stevenson pops it up. Past Quintino. Stevenson down the line. Foul ground. Jagged steps. 1 down. Longest by a lefty in the game's history. It was spoiled on a Jackson Merrill base hit that scored former Red Ty France. The Phillies are taking on the Padres today. Phillies lead at 3-2. Padres will be the Reds' second opponent on their coming road trip. Begins Friday in St. Louis. Matt McLean has singled, scored, struck out. Ball 1. Oddly enough, the Padres playing in Philadelphia, where former Red Nick Castellanos got DFA'd today. 2-0. Bounce to third, Lofton. Brief word now from Miami Valley Gaming.
Get ready to get lucky at MVG. With over 2,200 of the best gaming machines, we got you covered.
Of course, Castellanos had signed with the Phillies after he left Cincinnati. They DFA'd him earlier this year. Blake Dunn, 2 hits tonight. A ricochet off the pitcher, a 2-run homer that tied it to left. ABS.
The catcher's challenging the call of ball. The call is confirmed. Kansas City has 1 challenge remaining.
So each team with 1 to lose. So there's back-to-back sinkers at 92 and 93. Kolek on the night has averaged a little over 94, so a pretty visible dip in velocity. And a loosening lefty working behind him. It's Blade on deck. If Dunn were to reach, you would imagine they would make the move. Kolek likely facing his final hitter, and he elevates to Dunn. That's smoked and speared. Michael Massey takes it away up the middle.
So I hammer the
Reds bullpen, the subject of our Blue Moon bright spot last night. First time this year, the pen with 4 more innings. No knocks, no scores in a game. The combination of Antone, Mal, Maxwell, and the win for Brock Burke. Caleb Ferguson has already delivered 1 perfect inning. Gave the Reds a couple of frames 2 nights ago in this series. Top of the order, starting with Jensen. And this is a Royals team, Lark, that leans left-handed, that has struggled significantly on the year against left-handed pitching.
And unlike in the past, a lot of options in the left-handed pitching category out of the bullpen for Terry Francona. Many times we would look down there and not have a single lefty. Sam Maul has been incredible. And obviously Caleb Ferguson, since he's come here, he's been really good as well.
Got him looking.
Brock Burke getting them win last night. Lefty's getting it done.
Now the Reds had TJ Antone warming. And now with the right-handed Bobby Witt Jr. due up, that's going to be all for Ferguson. And a tie game, the veteran Antone to take on the Royals' young star.
Down however you want, Jim, but all that matters is strike 1. Let me tell you, strike 1 matters for us pitchers.
We are mired in minutia on the broadcast. We have to fill a lot of time, but it comes down to who scores more runs. You can simply break it down and who throws more first pitch strikes.
Amen, Jim. Couldn't have said it better myself. All right, I'll pass it back up to you.
A kind thanks to Captain Hook. who has been tough on righties in this version of himself. A lot of breaking balls.
That's that sweeper. He said that's been the pitch that has really made the difference for him.
There it is, and it's popped up by Witt. Stevenson and Antone over, and Stevenson stabs it. He's in there to retire Witt, and he gets him on one pitch.
I thought Antone was going to call Tyler Stevenson off. He bounces off this mound. Watch him. He's going to get this ball right now. I would have had that. Athlete, that's right.
And now Antone dances with lefty Vinny Pasquantino. 2-run homer. He's flied to center. He's lined to center. Ball one. Jim had mentioned earlier that Dusty Baker has a memoir coming out. TJ Antone has a book in development coming down the home stretch about his journey back from a third Tommy John. And he recently, Jim, shared the cover art with us, including his surgically repaired arm prominently figured.
Yeah, it's an awesome. And he actually does that motion all the time. He'll just walk by and hold up his surgically repaired arm.
3-0.
I know I asked you this question, him going back to back, because we did see him in yesterday's ball game. He threw 17 pitches in yesterday's ball game, and he has done it earlier in the season. It is just remarkable. 3 Tommy John surgeries, and his fastball's up to 96 miles an hour, and that sweeper, it's an outstanding story.
Went back to back, bridging the Cleveland and Philly series on that road trip. Finale against the Guardians, opener against the Phillies in mid-May. Backdoors a strike. Pop back our way into the seats.
And this is the next test for Antone. It's back-to-back days. His stuff has played down at times in that situation. Wants to be able to throw with the same velocity, the same stuff on back-to-back days. This is part of the growth process of coming back from that third Tommy John.
Payoff again. Bounced over Damon Hollins, Royals first base coach. Salvador Perez on deck, one of the few that Antone has faced on this Royals team lifetime. Ball foul. When he originally offered his comeback story, pen to paper, he had himself making the team at a spring training. He had to change that ending, augment it to breaking camp in the minors. And he had a version of the book where he didn't make it. And his message to the reader, and it's really meant and intended for those going through something like that, to be an inspirational story. And the idea that even attempting the journey had its own merit. Then he got the call to come on back to the big leagues. Had to change that ending for a third time. The call did come. He's trying to keep this tied. The Reds are in dire need of some series wins. Can he keep it even? Another payoff to Pasquantino. Grounded for a base hit left field. Go-ahead run is on.
Good fastball out over the plate. Good hitting. The velocity is pretty much there. It's 95.3 out of his hand.
Now Salvador Perez, who has reached on single and error. He's also flying to center. He's 1 for 3. Suarez guards the line. First pitch bounced foul. Looked like the dugout redirected Gino. He took a big step to his right shortly before that pitch to hug the chalk a little tighter. Perez, one of the 4 Royals that Antone had faced before tonight. He's 1 for 1 against him, a walk and an extra base hit. The only one he's allowed to any of the current Royals. In what's been a drastically down year at contact and on base, Perez still has 9 home runs. One and 2. Strike 3.
Grab your ballpark.
What a baseball sky. Let's all play ball. Don't miss Play Ball Weekend, encouraging youth everywhere to get out and play. Starts Friday. Visit playball.org today. Register for a free event near you. The tall, long lefty, Daniel Lynch IV, is in. And misses low to J.J. Bleday.
All 6'6" of him. Really a 3-pitch pitcher. It's a sinker, slider, and a changeup. He's got some really good numbers. 1.93 out of the bullpen, the ERA. There's his numbers. Pretty impressive.
Struggled as a starter, far more success in relief. Gets a rip from Bleday, 1 and 2. Bleday has singled once, struck out twice. Down and away. Well, he began his run of the big leagues with just Lynch on the back of his jersey. And then there was a family trip in June of 23, coincided with Father's Day weekend, and dads were heavily involved. And Pops had a jersey, broken bat, fisted flare, handled by Witt on the fly. And Dad's jersey said Lynch III. So he had the Royals add the 4th to the uniform back. And he is the first man in Major League history to have the 4th in Roman numerals on the back of his jersey. Every time I see those numerals, I think of Drago. Sal Stewart doubled his first pitch his last time. He's also struck out twice. Reds are showing Dane Myers as a pinch hitter on deck for Nathaniel Lowe. Knuckle curve for a strike. Tony Santillan warms in the Reds bullpen. One and 2. Stephen Kolek went 7, 2 runs, 6 hits, couple of walks, 8 Ks. Back-to-back nights, a Royal starter went 7 against the Reds. Kolek's 5th career start of 7 or more innings. And Stewart foul tip, chase swing on a change away, 2 down. Brief word now from Jake Sweeney Kia.
Jake Sweeney Kia. Drive smart. Spend less.
So now Myers stands in. The catcher Jensen out for a chat with Lynch. Vinny Pasquantino joins in from first. Myers, the Reds' most common pinch hitter, hitting .238 off the pine this year. First pitch launched, right center field. Thomas tracking back. That's off the top of the wall. Myers sprinting for second. Throw there, head first plunge, and a double. In a pinch, a gapper delivered by Dane Myers. Go-ahead run in scoring position.
Well, waste no time. We've seen these Reds pinch hitters come off the bench being aggressive. We saw Will Benson swinging at the first pitch yesterday. Dane Myers today, first pitch he sees, blistered this ball off the wall.
Two teams tonight, a combined 0 for 9 men in scoring position. Eugenio Suarez is struck out, grounded out, fly down. Takes ball 1. First base is open. Suarez has power. On deck is the Reds' most consistent bat over the last 5.5 weeks, Spencer Steer. If Lynch chooses to be careful with the career power of Eugenio Suarez, then he'll have to match up with the level swing of Steer. Big lead for Myers. Fouled away. No hitter alert. Logan Webb lost a perfecto in the 6th, but has a no-no through 6. Giants lead the Brewers 1-0. They're beginning the 7th inning. Santillan continues to fire in the Reds pen. Royals prepare to go Caglione, Collins, Massey. Their bench is all right-handed tonight. 2-2 to short. Witt. And the Reds strand Myers.
Join the Reds on Saturday, June 13th, when fans in attendance will receive an Andrew Abbott City Connect bobblehead thanks to St. Elizabeth Healthcare while supplies last. For tickets, head to reds.com/tickets. Also on the pitching front, Elk and Elk injury report. This is rehab start AAA for Rhett Lauder last night. Their goal was to get him to 70 pitches. How about 70 exactly? Went 5 innings. Did give up 3 earned runs, but no walks. 8 strikeouts. Next stop for him. He'll meet the Reds in St. Louis, slated to start on Sunday.
Well, thank you, Jim. Tony Santillan into the game. First pitch, base hit by Jack Caglione. And looks like we'll get a pinch runner at first base. Tyler Tolbert comes in for Caglione. We shared earlier in the series the outstanding performance Tolbert did as a pinch runner, getting steals last season. Isaac Collins has fly to right. He has struck out twice.
Remember that Tony Santillan also has a very good pickoff move.
Bunt popped up and out of play. That's a great point. You mentioned it when we lauded Burns' move, and he hurried Witt back a couple of times. Santillan has incredibly quick feet. Tolbert led the majors last year in steals as a pinch runner. Had 15 of them as a pinch runner. Caught twice. Square again, dropped down. Suarez. Slow heartbeat makes that play, but Tolbert into scoring position.
I find it interesting that during the season you see some of the teams like Kansas City Royals play small ball, if you will. Get a runner on base, get a bunt to get him over. You don't see it from a lot of teams during the season. And then you get to the postseason and you see it all the time. I just feel like that's a brand of baseball that works. And I think it will continue to work.
Strike one on Massey. I think the Rays are using a lot more small ball this year. They're one of the teams doing that. Swing and a miss. I also think when you're dealing with the playoffs, generally have the best pitching staffs. It's only the top tier of that staff. You're not facing a fourth or fifth starter.
And runs are a premium.
And the ball doesn't carry as well. The homers become more important when they happen. Huge lead for Tolbert. Fouled away. Well, the Rays are this year's regular season example. More men with high contact rate that don't strike out. They run a lot. You could argue at times maybe recklessly, similar to what the Reds did at times a few years ago, but they create a lot of havoc and they're winning a lot of games. Yeah. They've been at first in the American League East. Oh-2. Throughout this time, Alex Lang, right-hander, has been warming for the Royals. He was the second man out of the pen in Monday's opener when he delivered a scoreless inning on an efficient 9 pitches. He pumped a lot of strikes. Pickoff play. That throw tailed a bit. Good glove by Matt McLean.
So Matt reverse away from the bag to try to deke the runner and deke that third base coach to tell him it's okay.
Huge lead for Tolbert.
That pitch was way out of the zone, but back-to-back four-seamers at 96 from Santion, which is a tick up, a good sign.
Some of that lost velocity perhaps returning. Away. First base open. Lefties have given Santillan some problems. The right-handed bat of Nick Lofton on deck, and the entire Royals bench is right-handed. Fouled away. Santillan's up almost a full mile an hour from his season-long average so far this inning. He has had some problems at times also if a breaking ball hangs against the lefty. He's not shown it once here against Massey. Bigger lead for Tolbert. 2-2, up and away. And clearly the presence of Tolbert is on the mind of Santillan, who has been consistently wide arm side away to this lefty. Lang is ready in the Royals pen. Tolbert has been a pest. Huge lead. 3-2. Fouled away. This will now be the 10th pitch of the plate appearance. It was 0-2 early. There have already been 4 fouls since. Runner goes, 3-2, is scolded over second. That's going to be a run. Gino Suarez made contact with Tolbert as he rounded third. That was noted by crew chief and third base umpire Andy Fletcher. He comes home anyway, and an RBI hit for Michael Massey. Reds down 3-2.
You talked about a couple of arm side misses. This fastball is middle. And you put a runner on the bases to try to take away a little bit of the attention. That doesn't necessarily mean taking away from some of the velocity, but maybe the location.
So each team had been 0 for 5 men in scoring position before that Massey hit. Lofton is 0 for 3. Broken bat, ground ball out his last time. And now a yank down and away. A couple of breaking balls that have bent way wide glove side, right on right. That is smoke to left field. Leday scurries back, and that is gone. Buffer for Kansas City. It's 5-2. And Lark, the concern is real and severe. Santillan is not just getting hit. When the hits are coming, they are being killed.
Yes, they are. Location again in a very similar spot. Fastball up in the zone. It's 95 miles an hour. But it's up in the zone where you allow the hitter to get his arms extended. He gets the bat head to the ball.
Lofton's first homer of the year, the 6th of his career. He has 456 career ABs. Santillan has now surrendered 7 homers in his last 11 outings. Thomas, foul tip, strike 1. Zach McCambley, just brought up from AAA, now warms to make his major league debut. Up and in from Santillan. Appeal, he did not go. Popped up into the foul seats. And a walk. So Santillan has faced 5 men, all had a productive plate appearance. The only out came on a sacrifice. Reds go deeper to the pen, down 3. Cincinnati Reds baseball is presented by your Greater Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Jeep dealers. And by Lincoln Financial. Make your pastimes last a lifetime. So 3 pull-away runs for the Royals in the 9th. Reds down 5-2, man on. It's the major league debut, 27-year-old native of New Jersey, Zach McCambley.
He was who the Reds required in the deal for Reese Hines, coming over from the Marlins.
Takes on leadoff man Carter Jensen, who has struck out 3 times. He's 0 for 4. I spoke with him some earlier today. It's a 4-seam fastball, 2-seam fastball. He has 2 different breaking pitches. There you saw what Savant's going to label as a cutter, but he calls it a gyro cutter. And he also has a truer slider that Savant's probably going to label, he thinks, a sweeper, but he considers that the slider. The gyro cutter that he began with was the brainchild of some of the Marlins minor league pitching folks when he was in their system. They wanted something that he said would connect the dots between his four-seamer and that slower, truer breaking ball. So it's kind of in between in both velocity and bite. Only had a couple of outings with Louisville after the trade. 2-1. It was a little bit of an oddity when Pat Kelly, PK, the AAA skipper, told him, hey, don't go to Memphis, stay back. Looks like you might get called up. It wasn't a certainty, and they'd only known each other for 8 days. The trade just happened. Runner goes. Pitch fouled away. McCambley went to Pocono Mountain East High School. It's in northeast Pennsylvania, not too far from Dunder Mifflin. Michael Scott Paper Company. Scranton, Pennsylvania. He's a third rounder by the Marlins in 20. He was Rule 5 this offseason by the Phillies, and he was not returned until the last day of camp. He had a shot to make that club. Payoff pitch. Struck him out. First man face goes down by way of K. He then thought it was end of inning. It's out number 2. But a strikeout in his major league debut.
Well, that's the way to get it started. Tight slider down and in to lefty. Outstanding.
And now he matches up with Bobby Witt Jr. Not through the woods just yet. Witt has walked and scored. He's 0 for 3. Up and in, ball 1. In the minors, right-handers against McCambley, 5 for 52 this year. That's 0.96, sub 100. And that's where the combination of the sweeper and the gyro really play. You don't often see a right-handed specialist, and not that lefties molded, but he dominated right-handed hitters. Pretty good one at the plate right now. 1-1 down and away. Reds bottom 9. Steer, Benson, Stevenson due up with a bench of Marte, Arroyo, and Higgins. Little flare beyond second base hit. Thomas through second, takes third. Just the second hit on the series for Witt, men at the corners.
Tony Perez told me all the time, good hitters get jammed. Nice little jam shot. Just staying through the baseball. Bobby Witt Jr., a good hitter.
Vinny Pasquantino, 2-run homer and a single tonight. Runner goes from first, pitch up and away. Show the ball to third, Stevenson. That scurries back Thomas. As Witt steals second, give him 20. And now they're going to put Pasquantino on with first base open, go right on right against Perez. Now you're already down 3. I think this is the smart move. He's so much better against right-handed hitters, at least in the minors. So now the Rook making his debut. Faces a future Hall of Famer. Perez is single. He's reached on error. He's 1 for 4. Fly out, strikeout. Check swing seemed to go. Appeal confirms 0-1. Six Granny's lifetime, 291 bases loaded in over 100 ABs bases loaded. Lifted, right field line, long run for Benson, foul ground into the foul seats. Looks like it'll be Lang for the Royals, who's been ready for some time. Does not yet have a save try on the year. McCambley can keep this a 3-run affair. We're about to see his first. Oh, 2. McCambley punches out Perez. Leaves them loaded. Reds go bottom 9. Will the rallying Reds return? Steer, Benson, Stevenson due up.
So I hammered the rudder.
Our Toyota game summary. Back-to-back nights. Royal starters went 7 against the Reds. Tonight, Stephen Kolek. 2 earnings, 8 Ks. Chase Burns tied the season high with 9 strikeouts. He left a tie game. Blake Dunn thundered the Reds' runs, a homer back in the 5th. Royals have been unsettled at closer. First save try this year for the man who once closed games for the Tigers. It's Alex Lang.
Saw him on Monday night's ball game. He had a couple punch outs.
There's a knuckle curve. That cutter does get a lot of strikeouts lifetime, almost 11 per 9. That's excellent. He has 29 career saves. 26 came in 2023. That is smoked over third base. It's Steer. Stay hot. Collins gathers corner. Steer slows at second. A stand-up double.
Yeah, Spencer's just swinging the bat so well right now. Great plate discipline, swinging at good pitches, great balance. In a groove.
The Reds forged a tie with Will Benson. Hit a pinch hit homer 9th inning yesterday. First pitch from Lang. Now, Terry Francona was asked what he saw in the Benson AB when he went deep to deadlock the night at 3 last night. And he said part of what he wanted, he thought more about a walk from Will Benson. Lifts this ball foul and tails to the seats. He was taking on Lucas Urseg, who does have some high walk numbers. That's a common thread with Lang.
Well, that was a changeup up and out over the plate. And Willie Beeman just extended those arms. That might have been the flattest swing I think I've seen him take in a while. Which is a good thing.
Swing and a miss. Now the Royals set closer Carlos Estevez took a comebacker off his foot, second game of the campaign. Urseg had been the closer, but he gave it away last night. Now it's Lang who was added. Miss way wide. They inked him 1 year, $900 grand. It's his first year away from the Tigers, went in division. But like Urseg last night, a lot of wild pitches at times, does walk guys. 2-2, way in, and now it's full on Benson. And last year, his final campaign with the Tigers, he walked a man an inning, which is crazy high in his limited work. Lifetime, he's had 5.5 walks per 9. That is a lot.
Big pitch right here. You walk Benson. One swing from tying this game up.
Fouled back. When Spencer Steer, who slugged 2 homers to get the Reds offense going and scored the winner, was interviewed after the game on the dais, one of the first things he brought up was how happy he was for Will Benson to have that moment, deferred to his teammate. 3-2. Check swing, he went, strike 3.
Tough to stay off that slider down and in, especially to those lefties. They like the ball down.
Now a move, Lark, that does surprise me a bit here. Terry Francona yanks back Tyler Stevenson, who has walked his 0 for 2, to call upon the rookie, the switch-hitting Edwin Arroyo, who in 2 games in the big leagues has been marred by strikeouts, but he is a switch hitter, and his right and left side of the minors did have their own identities.
He was really good on the left-handed side. And I think this is all about just getting on base. I'm sure that's been the message. Don't go up there and try to hit a 2-run home run right here. Just get on base and give us a chance to win this ball game. At least tie it up.
He is not the only change that could be happening here, as Arroyo stands in to hit for Stevenson. On deck to hit for Matt McClain is the recently recalled Noelvi Marte, who could represent the tying run. Swing and a miss. And Jim, is that Matt McClain on the steps, or is that Blake Dunn?
That's Blake Dunn.
Okay. Ticked foul. Arroyo 7 at bats in his just beginning big league career. 5 strikeouts so far. The 1 hit that was served over second. In the minors this year, hit nearly 350 as a lefty. A later swing, fouls it off the catcher Jensen. So he got about a 100-point boost in his average, and his OPS, his power, spiked dramatically from the 680s to over 1,000. 9 of his 11 homers came as a left-handed hitter. Check swing. Did he go? No. 1-2. The Reds' first series with Ellie De La Cruz hurt. They split the first 2 games. They're down 3 in the 9th in the rubber match. Up and away. The family on hand. His dad Edwin on the left there. You can see the family resemblance so clearly. He looks like Pops. Fouled away. Marte handles on deck. Way wide. Payoff pitch. Looking. Reds do have a challenge to lose. They're down to their last out. That was just in the zone. So now another mound conversation with Noelvi Marte, formally announced as the pinch hitter. It's his first big league game since April 12th against the Angels. He was 0 for 4 that day in 12 big league games this year, hitting .138. In AAA, he crushed And that got him. Appeal no go. Marte says it got him. It was not called a hit by pitch. Reds considering challenging this. They're going to challenge. Is Marte on? Does the tying run come to the plate? He immediately thought that it hit him. Just in case Chris Paddock is warming.
The batter was not hit by the pitch. Cincinnati's challenging.
Now, you cannot challenge a foul tip. You can challenge a hit by pitch. This was not called foul tip. It was said no check swing, but it was not called hit batter. So longtime starter Chris Paddock warms in the Reds bullpen. Tonight, his first game in that role in concert with Rhett Lauder's return to the rotation. A different look on the big board has the crowd believing that Marte is going to be on base. Man, I can't tell.
I can't either. I thought I heard something. And we were taught that if that ball touches any part of your uniform or your body, just go to first base. If your first move is towards first base, then the umpire, who may have a little doubt in his mind, throws his hands up and says hit by pitch.
Now, I'm with you, though, on that replay with the Nat sound. It sounded like it clipped something.
It does.
But that angle that we have seen, it's really hard to tell. Here we go.
After review, the call in the field stands. It was not a hit by pitch. The batter remained at bat with one ball. And Cincinnati will lose their challenge for the remainder of the game.
Well, the Reds are down to their last out. Worth shooting the shot there, especially when the batter seemed to indicate he was convinced it hit him. Strike, ABS.
The batter is challenging the call strike.
That is a ball.
The call is overturned. Cincinnati's one remaining.
Marte is known for his power potential. Does not have an extra base hit in the bigs this year.
I'm going to say that challenge that Marte just did right there, he would have never seen that ball before until he went down and made the adjustments that he did at AAA. I'm sitting and I'm watching his technique.
And he walks.
He's in a good spot. That's why he hit 370 down there. That at bat is very indicative of, very consistent with what he did at the AAA level. That's a good sign as well.
So the Reds down to their last out. Send the tying run to the plate. Blake Dunn, comeback single, 2-run homer to left. He's also lined out to second base, tries to bunt and sends it foul. Now Dunn got off to a dynamic start this latest run with the Reds. It had curtailed significantly on the homestand until recent days, and now he has shown that spark. Harder contact has been coming, and the man on deck is
on fire.
Yeah. J.J. Bleday, the on deck man. Check swing, he went 0-2.
Well, you mentioned Blake Dunn's been swinging the bat well, playing good. Last thing that comes normally to young players is the power. And you can see he's got plenty of it.
center. Thomas. The Royals post 3 in the visiting ninth, and they take the finale with it, the series. Lark, this is a gut punch of a set. This is a Kansas City club that, all due respect, entered this series 15 under 500 with the second worst road record in the sport. And the first series without Elly De La Cruz, the Reds lose a series at home to the Royals.
Yeah, not a good sign at all. And, you know, it's been a little inconsistency in every phase of the ball game. Well, one thing that we did see today was Chase Burns is a dude. He is the guy, and he's pitching fantastic. Obviously, the offense has to figure it out. You're going to be without Elly De La Cruz for a while. And, you know, everyone has to take on that burden and get it done. Simple as that. And the bullpen, once again, the bullpen has to shore up. Just can't have what's happening happen.
Yeah, they need someone else to be in those fulcrum spots late stage. Our All-State Good Hands replay. Major mash by Massey as the struggles for Tony Santillan continue.
And then the location of the pitches. You know, the velocity is there, but that location, middle. Big league hitters just do not miss that pitch. And that home run pretty much sealed the deal.
Now the Reds lose to the Royals. Reds post game still to come. The final and the finale, 5-2 Kansas.